Have you ever noticed how, even in the hardest moments, there's always a sliver of light? Or how, in the midst of great joy, we sometimes feel a fear of losing everything? Nothing in the universe exists in isolation. Everything comes in pairs. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. The Law of Polarity, one of the most powerful laws for those seeking balance and wisdom through the highs and lows of life. This is the 11th episode of our journey through the 12 universal laws. If you've been following the series, welcome back. And if this is your first video, I highly recommend watching the previous ones. Each law is like a puzzle piece that reveals the deeper workings of the universe and human consciousness. Now take a deep breath and come with me. What is the Law of Polarity? The Law of Polarity states that everything has two opposite sides, and that these opposites are actually two ends of the same thing. Light and shadow, joy and sorrow, success and failure, hot and cold, love and fear, peace and chaos. They don't exist separately. They are different expressions of the same energy. This is one of the most transformative laws because it reminds us that no experience is completely negative or completely positive. There is always another side. There is always a lesson, a seed, a possibility. The Law of Polarity affirms that everything in the universe has an opposite, and that these opposites are just different manifestations of the same essence. Hot and cold are opposites, but both are expressions of temperature. Love and hate seem contradictory, but they belong to the same emotional spectrum. Light and darkness, success and failure, fear and courage, all exist on opposite ends of the same energy. This law shows us that opposites are complementary, and that it's impossible to experience one without knowing the other. It's the existence of pain that makes us value pleasure. It's failure that gives meaning to achievement. It's absence that teaches us about presence. And more than that, polarity doesn't exist to punish us, but to teach us. Because the greater the pain you've experienced, the greater your capacity for joy. The deeper you've fallen, the higher you can rise. This law also invites us to move away from the dualistic view of good or bad and begin seeing experiences as parts of a greater flow. When we accept that everything has two sides, we stop fighting one of them and start integrating the whole. And even more, this law gives us power. Because when we understand that even pain has an opposite, like healing, peace, or overcoming, we begin to walk with more confidence. We know that no difficult moment is permanent, that everything can change. How to apply the Law of Polarity in daily life? The practical application of this law begins with awareness. In other words, recognizing that every situation contains two sides, and that you can choose which one you feed. Here are some ways to apply this law. Acknowledge both sides of the experience. When going through a tough moment, ask yourself, what's the opposite of this? What good could come from this? Use pain as fuel for light. Instead of running from discomfort, look at it as a springboard. Every suffering holds a lesson and a power for transformation. Practice conscious duality. Don't label situations immediately as good or bad. Just observe. Often what seems negative today will be remembered as a turning point. Embrace duality. Instead of denying negative emotions like anger, fear, or sadness, understand that they also serve a purpose. They show you where healing is needed. Rewrite your story. Painful experiences don't define you. They're simply part of your story. And every story can be reinterpreted. Observe nature, day and night, winter and summer, expansion and contraction. The world is made of cycles, and everything that rises falls. Everything that begins, ends. But everything that ends, begins again. Seek the point of balance. Not everything is black or white. The Law of Polarity invites you to find the middle path, the center. Don't drown in pain, but don't pretend it doesn't exist. Observe, recognize, and seek the lesson it offers. By applying this law, you develop emotional resilience because you understand that everything passes. And more importantly, you can use any experience as raw material for your evolution. The Law of Polarity teaches us that there is no shadow without light, and no light without shadow. Everything has two sides, and the key to balance lies in recognizing this. We are not trapped in the dark side of experience. We can move, we can transform. Everything has two sides, and you have the power to choose where to place your attention and your energy. Your strength lies in knowing how to navigate between extremes with wisdom and awareness. In the next video, we'll explore the 11th universal law, the Law of Rhythm, which shows how everything in the universe flows in cycles, like a cosmic dance. You'll learn why ups and downs are part of life's natural rhythm, and how to move through them more lightly. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Hit the notification bell and share this video with someone who is going through a tough time. Maybe all they need is to see the other side. And let me know in the comments. What was the biggest transformation you've experienced after a difficult moment? I'd love to hear it. See you in the next video. And always remember, shift your energy, change your reality.